On this episode of Throttle Out, we're building this Jeep with lights, armor, and big wheels and tires for a Deegan38 inspired build. So in the shop today, we have a brand new 2018 JL Rubicon, one of the most capable Wranglers to roll off that assembly line. Now, as you may know, we can't keep anything stock. We always have to amp up that functionality, and that's exactly what we're gonna do in this video with the brand new JL Deegan38 line. Now, I'm gonna be throwing a laundry list of different parts at this Wrangler that are going to up that form, function, and utility, including armor and recovery. I'll be bolting up a lift kit that's gonna create a badass stance to the Rubicon, as well as get it ready to conquer some very tough trails. And we're also gonna create a lighting setup that will light up every corner of this Wrangler. So make sure you like and hit that subscribe button to keep up with cool builds like this, as well as our product install videos, where we break down all of our products in detail, including the ones that are gonna be bolted up to this Wrangler. So enough from me, let's jump into the build. So I just got done bolting up the lift kit, and the lift kit that we chose is the Teraflex 2.5-inch Sport ST2 suspension lift with the 3.3 Falcon piggyback adjustable shocks. Now this is an incredible lift kit, guys. It's completely capable, and it's gonna come with everything that you need. This even has pre-aligned control arms, so you don't need a caster alignment after you bolt this thing up. But the star of the show is gonna be those 3.3 Falcon piggyback adjustable shocks. Now these are incredibly designed, they are incredibly durable. They're made of a hardened aluminum material, which is not only going to be able to take a hit off-road, but it's also going to disperse any heat and make the shocks perform a lot better than some of those steel-bodied options. Now the other thing that makes these very unique is that reservoir is directly mounted onto that shock body, which is going to eliminate any braided lines that may cause restriction as well as leaking, while also increasing that valving and increasing the performance overall. Now the biggest thing out of these shocks is that adjustability. So you are gonna get 24 settings. You're gonna get 3 major settings and 8 minor settings to fine tune the adjustability and the dampening. So if you want it stiffer for on-road driving or less body roll, or if you want it more comfortable for the trail or vice versa, you have that option there. So enough about this on the lift. Let's throw on some wheel and tires and check out that stance. So I just got finished bolting up these wheels and tires, and overall this gives the Jeep a very aggressive stance. So the wheels and tires that we chose were the Deegan38 by Mickey Thompson mud-terrain tires paired with the Rovos Kalari wheel, and I think those two as a kit give off a very aggressive look. Now paired with that 2.5-inch lift kit, this is not only gonna look aggressive, but it's gonna perform very well off-road. Now this is gonna be a 37-inch tire, so on the Rubicon with the raised fender, we have a ton of up travel here. It's gonna fit in that wheel well very nicely. So when we go off-road, we have a ton of articulation and performance on our side. Now these, like I said, are gonna be a mud-terrain tire, so in the middle, they are gonna have a tighter lug, which is gonna keep it quieter in comparison to some other mud-terrains that are a little bit louder on the street. So that is going to help you there. But on the side, you have the true mud terrain lug. They are going to be spaced out lugs, so you are going to have that self-cleaning aspect and all of that traction that you need while you're off-road. So not only are we getting that aggressive aesthetic out of those tires, but you are out of the wheels as well. These Kalari wheels are going to be sleek yet tough, and I do really like the beadlock outer lining or the rim on these, and it's going to match perfectly for the armor that we have lined up next. So speaking of that, let's start bolting up our armor. So for those 37-inch tires, we needed something way more heavy duty than the factory setup, and that's exactly what this Deegan38 heavy duty rear bumper and tire carrier is achieving here. Now starting off with the bumper, this is going to offer you a number of different benefits. You have 2 D-ring mounts for recovery for if you get into a sticky situation on the trail. You also have a tow hitch that is included in the kit that is frame mounted, and that's gonna either be a 3rd recovery point. You can use it to tow whatever your Jeep is able to tow, and then you can also use it for any hitch mounted accessories. Now not only are you getting a couple of recovery points, but what I do really like about this bumper is you're getting light mounting points on either side for some extra floodlights. I do like the fact that this is a bumper mounted tire carrier, so you're taking all of that weight from this 37 off of the tailgate, which can over time sag and kind of damage your tailgate with that extra weight, and you're putting it on a frame mounted system. So that is going to be very solid. It's going to ensure a very long lifespan of your tailgate as well as your rear bumper and tire carrier because of the bearings on the spindle. And this is super easy to actuate. So all you have to do is just open this up and you have full access to your cargo area, which I do really like. And it also has a lock on it, so it won't swing out way too far. Now, as you can probably tell, we have a bunch of wires and sheathing coming down. And that's another thing that's really cool about this kit, because it comes with all the extensions that you need for your backup camera, your third brake light, and it will even come with lights integrated into the bolts for your license plate, so you're staying completely legal. So overall, it's going to be a very solid system. It's gonna be clean in the way that it installs, and it's just gonna look badass while doing it. So our next mod is on the side. Let's go check out that. So for our next piece of armor, it's gonna go out to the Deegan38 rock sliders. Now these are gonna be very capable as well as just look pretty badass mounted up to the side of our Wrangler. So what I do really like about these is the fact that they're very solid. So they mount up to the frame, which is gonna be able to take a hit harder than some other options that are mounted just to the pinch weld and the body. In conjunction with this steel construction, overall it's gonna be a very solid piece. Now what I do like about these as well is the fact that it gives you a very large step. So not only is this going to provide protection, it's going to provide a little bit of convenience. So you have these dimples up top on this step plate that are going to provide some traction, but it's going to give you very easy cab access as well as roof access. Now, another thing that's really cool about these is the fact that they're very high and tight. So they are up and out of the way, giving you pretty good ground clearance, but still protecting that underbody if you come down on any rocks or stumps on the trail. But they're tucked very tight into that rocker area, and it's going to provide you all of that protection that your rocker area needs when you're off-road, considering this is one of your most vulnerable areas when you are out on the trail. And they're overall going to look very good mounted up to the side of our Wrangler. Now let's head up front for the next piece of armor. It's actually pieces of armor, and this is what I like to call the Deegan38 triple threat. So we have the heavy-duty front bumper, the 9,500-pound synthetic rope winch, and the skid plate mounted underneath. Now, starting with the bumper, this is going to provide you that front end protection without any compromised approach angles. And we definitely need it if we're going to take it out on the trail. What we really want out of this front bumper is to get our tire up and on everything. We want that extra clearance, and this is definitely going to allow it. We're also going to have some grille protection as well as a little bit of protection for your winch with this bull bar up on top. You have 4 light mounting tabs up top to add any accessory lighting. With this bumper comes 2 auxiliary lights in the middle for your fog lights. We also get light mounting points on either side for some extra floodlights. So this is going to be giving you all of that extra visibility that you may want. You also are getting recovery points out of this thing. Now, speaking of that recovery, this is also going to come with a winch plate. It's capable of holding a winch with a pulling capacity up to 12,000 pounds. What we have here is the Deegan38 9,500-pound winch with the black synthetic rope. Unlike a steel cable, it's not going to store energy under load. So if we're out on the trail and we're winching and this happens to break, it's just going to fall to the ground, making this a safer option than steel cable. And I think for the extra cost, that's a pretty fair trade-off. It's definitely going to come in handy if we ever need it on the trail. So while I'm down here, the third piece to our triple threat is this skid plate mounted up to our front bumper. So the skid plate is made of a solid steel construction, and it's going to mount up to the front of the bumper as well as to those bottom frame horns. So this is going to add some structural integrity and make this a very solid piece overall. So if we're out on the trail, we do take a hit, everything underneath is going to be protected, especially that electronic sway bar disconnect module, because this is a Rubicon. You definitely want to keep that protected from any lower obstacles on the trail, because that is very important. So that's going to wrap it up for the front. However, if you've paid attention, we have a lot of lighting going on each piece of our armor here that I told you guys that we were going to get to in a minute, but we're not done yet. We still have some extra lighting to go, so let's get started on that. So as as you guys just saw, we mounted up all of our lights, but we need something to control that, and that's exactly what our Mopar switch panel is going to do. So this mounts right up to your dash. It's very easily accessible and it matches with all of your interior trim already. So what we did was mounted up all of our floodlights and then ran it to our auxiliary 1, so we have all of our 360 lighting. Then we mounted up our cube lights and ran it to our auxiliary 2. And our last auxiliary that we have something on is our auxiliary 3, and that's going to be our light bar. So overall, this Mopar switch panel fits very well in our dash, and it's very easy to operate all of our lights. But speaking about our lights, let's go check those out. So the key features about these Deegan38 parts is all of the lighting that's integrated into each part that's mounted up to the Wrangler. And not only are they gonna be for looks, they're gonna be very functional and practical as well. So the rock sliders come with 2 puddle lights and the fog lights are included in the front bumper, but we added the Deegan38 LED floodlights to the front bumper and the rear bumper to maximize our visibility. So any rocks, stumps that you may be going over at night, any trail rides, you're gonna be able to see everything that's around you. Now, helping out with those floodlights, we have a 20-inch LED light bar mounted up and fitting perfectly to our front bumper, and that's gonna be the Deegan38 by Casey Highlights 20-inch LED light bar. So the outside of this light bar is gonna have a spot pattern on either side, which is gonna give you all of that distance that you'll need and a little bit more concentrated, in addition to the spread beam that's gonna be a little bit wider than a spot would be. So those are going to completely light up the trail and the road ahead of you. So the last piece of lighting that we added was up on the A-pillar. So this is going to be the axial 3-inch LED cube lights with the R-Tech Industry mounting brackets. So this setup on the A-pillar is just going to assist all of the other lighting just that much more. And what I do like about these is the fact that they are a spot beam. So you have all of that flood lighting, but these are going to assist that light bar in that distance. So these 4 mounted up to the A-pillar are going to be a great addition to that LED light bar in front, or they're gonna be great on their own. So overall, this lighting setup is very functional. However, the last thing that we have to test out is those Falcon 3.3 adjustable shocks. So we have to take a drive for that, so let's hop in the Jeep and get going. So I just got the Jeep out on the road and I have these shocks right now at the firmest setting. So I actually have them at 3.5. These have about 24 settings within them. So you have those 3 major settings and then some settings in between if you really want to fine tune them. And I can really feel it on the road here. I'm hitting this turn, getting on the on-ramp, and I felt no body roll at all. And it gives you a little bit more confidence when you actually have this thing a little bit stiffened up and you're going a higher speed. So driving right now on the highway, it is incredibly comfortable. I feel the responsiveness when I'm turning the wheel. I don't have any body roll or any play or any flighty feeling in the wheel. And that's really important because you want that control when you're on the road, on the highway. But if I take this to the trail, especially a fire trail where it's a little bit flatter and go at a higher speed, I'm gonna have full control of the Jeep and I'm going to have full confidence that it's going to do what I ask it to do and do it very well. So I do really love these shocks. Actually, you can tell of how stiff the shocks are just going over that bump. So I'm on a higher speed back road right now and I can tell from going around the turns, I'm not getting a lot of body roll. I'm getting a lot of responsiveness. It doesn't feel flighty and it's just overall a very comfortable and responsive ride. So even if you wanted to put it on the medium setting for this, you could totally do that and you can have a little bit more comfortability and more smooth driving instead of a little bit of a bumpier ride, which I wouldn't say it's horribly bumpy. It's just you can feel it a little bit more and you can feel the responsiveness out of the shocks, which I really love these shocks. We also have a really good video on our YouTube channel where Teraflex breaks down this shock. They actually have a cutout on the shock so you can see all the internal working if you want to learn a little bit more in depth about these shocks and test them out in all 3 stages of their adjustability. So definitely check that out. However, that's gonna wrap it up for this video. Make sure you like and subscribe for more cool content like this, more inspired builds, as well as all of our product videos and product installs. And make sure you comment down below to tell me what your favorite setup for the JL is as far as lighting goes, or what you would do differently, or what you like about this build. Let me know your thoughts. Thanks for watching, guys.